Hello, I'm Matt with ApplianceVideo.com. What we have here today is a Maytag oven. It's not baking. So what we're going to do first here is we're just going to get the racks out and get some access to the igniter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull our racks out here. And we've got two Phillips screws in the back corners. And we're gonna just kind of grab, lift up, sort of push it towards the back. And here's our igniter right here. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on and see if the igniter is actually glowing. Alright, so I'm just going to select bake, press it twice. And you hear the click from the relay board, which should be sending power down to the igniter. Okay, we don't have any glow from the igniter at all right now. So what I'm going to do is just take a voltage testing wand. So we've got power coming into the igniter, but no power going out. So we know we've got a bad oven igniter on here. Okay, now at this point we've confirmed a bad oven igniter. You never want to do an oven igniter replacement with the unit plugged in. You can potentially short out the gas valve. So we're going to go ahead and just slide it out and unplug it. Okay, what we have are just two 5/16 screws that mount the igniter here on the top. 1, 2. Which we're going to carefully remove. A lot of times with the heat of the oven, these screws can kind of get stripped out. So I like to use a hand tool instead of a drill because you can kind of feel if they're starting to cross thread on you when you're pulling them out. And you can be a little more careful, but that one came out good. That one also did. Now I'm just gonna remove the igniter, pull some of the excess wiring forward here. So you're just gonna go ahead and cut your wiring here. I usually cut about 1 inch back. Push your thermal insulator up a little bit to expose the bare wire there. Just like that. And now we're going to take a set of wire strippers, strip it down just about 1/2 inch. You don't want to strip too much because you don't want that wire to be exposed. Just like that. Okay, well what we have is kind of an aftermarket igniter here. The brackets are just a little bit different. It's the exact same igniter though. If you do order the OEM igniter, this step would be omitted. You would just have to wire up your new igniter and mount it in there. But we're gonna actually change the brackets on this. So we're gonna reuse this bracket here. So what we're going to do is take a flathead screwdriver. I want to be really careful. The first igniter, I mean, this is a bad igniter, so it doesn't really matter. You can just kind of pry this one right out. If you break it, it doesn't really matter, but getting your new igniter in, they're very fragile, and you never want to touch the actual igniter, the ceramic on there with your fingers. The oil will create a hot spot and cause it to burn out. So you never want to touch this area of the igniter here. So once you get it out, kind of just squeeze that back together a little bit. That'll give you a tight fit. And you're going to take this igniter here. This is the one you want to be careful with. Pry that out. You're going to discard the old bracket. And you got your new bracket here. Slide the igniter all the way in until it's almost flush down at the base there. Make sure it's kind of snugged up in there, not flopping around, not loose. And we are going to prepare this igniter here just by cutting the wiring off. Give yourself a little bit of extra slack. You know, that's how short you cut the old one. But give yourself an extra couple of inches. The wiring can be tucked back behind the panel. Just cut that off there like that. Now we're just gonna strip these wires down about a ½ inch also. Just like that. Now we're ready to go ahead and install this. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead, lay the igniter bracket down like that. And we're gonna take our wires. It doesn't matter which wire you connect to which. You're just completing a circuit. So you're gonna take your ceramic wire nuts. Always want to use ceramic because they're high temp. They won't melt if they get hot. Just tighten them down until they bite. Give a little tug on your wires on each side, make sure it bit properly. Wire up the other side. On these, I find that they tend to bite a little bit better if you don't twist the wires together before you put the wire nut on. Just kind of let the wire nut twist them as you screw it on. So we got our wires connected like that. We're gonna go ahead and sort of push it back there into the cabinet. We're just gonna mount the igniter back in with the two 5/16 screws. Just like that. And now we're gonna go ahead and plug it back in and we'll test it before we put the bottom panel on. Okay, we're gonna go ahead, press bake twice, power up the igniter, and make sure it's gonna glow for us here. Okay, so it's starting to glow here. The gas valve should usually open on a brand new igniter within about 30 seconds. Basically, the hotter the igniter gets, the more current flows through it, which allows the gas valve to open. There we go. So we'll go ahead and cancel that out before it gets too hot in there to put the panel back on. But we know it's operating properly. All right, we're gonna go ahead, kind of angle back panel up a little bit. Like that. Get your front lip in first. There you go. And put your 2 screws back in. So we're going to go ahead and replace our lower racks. Okay, that's going to complete the repair for the Maytag gas oven. Thank you for watching ApplianceVideo.com.